Are you ready to learn how to increase your customer conversions without having to do anything else beyond learning how to add upsells to your pages without having the added issue of the dreaded login page? In case you don't know, you're going to find out in this video. There's certain limitations that Kajabi has to upsells, and I'm going to show you the workarounds you can do without having to upgrade anything. So if you're ready to increase your conversions without having to add more to your Kajabi plan, let's dive in. Now, you've probably seen upsells before, especially if you've looked at any type of Kajabi page, and I'll show you what they normally look like. So this is what it's going to look like if you are both looking at your own upsell or someone who is a client. So this is the basic one they show. It always has this blue little banner and always has this here. These are good guidelines to follow in terms of what to add to your upsell page. But I want to talk more about the tech behind the upsell because that's really what's going to bite you in the butt if you don't end up learning to get around these limitations, especially if you offer more than one upsell and you want it to convert well. I did not mean to have that rhyme, but here we are. So the first thing I'm going to show you is this isn't me just putting in like an amount to test it. So something you'll notice is that right now I can see this upsell. So if we go to the actual upsell behind the checkout page, you'll notice this is an order bump. So you can always find that at the bottom one here. You can add whatever type of offer you want. You can add in text for it. Really important note, or I guess hack for anyone listening, it's never going to show the price. So even though it says the AI helper for only $27, that is the actual title that I put as the product title in the Kajabi page. So it looks like this. This is where you'd offer it in the offer title. So that's why you can see the number here. I highly recommend you do that if you have an offer under $100 because it helps people to feel like it is something that's easy to approach versus for them clicking on it. Yes, they can click it and then it'll add to their total, but it helps a little bit more to make it feel less worrisome on how much the price will be. So you'll see there's this upsell here, but there's also a second upsell you can do. So you'll see this first one here. If we go back to the upsell test, I'm just going to leave this here. And if you go to the upsell on this side, you'll see that I already added in an upsell. So there's an upsell that you just saw, which is like on the checkout page. And there's also a one-click upsell that they do right after the purchase. So it's like right before they put in their credit card, they say complete the purchase, and then before they get the thank you page, this would come up for them. And I'll show you what it looks like in a second. And obviously you can add in multiple upsells here, but there is the issue of that if the only things you can really edit, and I'll show you to preview it, is like this is all it looks like. And this is like a really great one-click upsell if you're just doing something that you're testing out. So let's say you're testing out a new upsell you've never done before, just want to add in some couple like quick pieces of copy. I get it, feel free to use this. But for a lot of people who are doing the multiple upsell type of strategy, which it depends on your type of customer if they prefer that or not. But let's say you do have multiple upsells. Sometimes this is just not enough. One, in terms of not enough copy to help people understand what the offer is. Also, just like not enough design customization because this is all you can do. Sure, you can change, I'm pretty sure you can change the button color here, but this is like the main text you get. You also get one video and that's it. So if you are someone who has an offer, especially if it is like over $100, I am going to recommend you try out the other options that I recommend in here because it really does make both your life a little bit easier later on the road because it'll be easier for them to say yes and they'll have more information about the upsell offer to want to say yes to. And your customer will thank you for it because you'll actually have a page dedicated to more information about the upsell so they can get a better understanding before they buy. So this is not a good or bad thing. It's just how Kajabi has it set up. But for a lot of clients who come to me, especially if you have learned anything around the ClickFunnels side or the SOP or just like multiple upsells inside of a funnel, then you will need this other option. Again, this is great for kind of a starter place, but for those who really want to have a better, more optimized funnel, I recommend trying this option instead. So we're going to keep this here for the moment. And I just want to show you what happens if I were to do nothing else. So I'm going to actually pay myself essentially and show you what it'll look like if you were to use the in-house editor. Right? Okay, so I want to show you what it looks like if you were just a customer. So you'll see here that there is, I have it as $10, and then I'm going to say no thank you, take me to the purchase. You'll also notice this is where the additional copy goes on the upsell page. So if I were to say this is the tagline, the headline, tagline, the video, and then this is where you could add in more information. That's it. So that's again where there is a limitation between the one-click upsell. So I'm going to say no thanks. I already have a login. It was going to take me to the login information. If you were a brand new person, it'd have you set up the thank you page or the add in your name and email type of page. And that's not a bad thing. I'll be honest. It's not a bad thing to have that flow. But did you notice it didn't even take me to the thank you page? And yes, it was really interesting is this takes me to the product library. There's other ones that I have that are taking them to a custom thank you page or an existing landing page. But because of how Kajabi is set up, it does not allow me to go straight from that last purchase page to then the thank you page. There's always a middle to where they have you add in your name and information for getting them in the course library. So for example, it'll ask you for the username and password to create right then and there, which isn't bad, but for the flow of how it works, it can be very clunky, especially again, as you just saw. If you're trying to go for a longer upsell page, that's going to really defeat the purpose of having it feel seamless, because what will happen is people will go to your checkout page, they will go then say thank you, it'll take them straight to not even a thank you page, just the login page, and then they won't ever really see the upsell page if they just leave, because that's the issue. People will see that last page and think, oh, that's it, because why wouldn't it be? But unfortunately, it doesn't allow us to change that because that's just how Kajabi is set up as a standard. So the way to get around this is, one, identify if you want to have multiple upsells in your current funnel. Probably you do, you're watching this video. The second thing is making sure that you have a dedicated upsell page for that one-click upsell. Because again, I don't think that it's great for most people to have something like this there. If it's an offer that's over usually $100 or more, sometimes you can get away with it, but a lot of times you can't, because also you probably noticed there's no way to add in testimonials unless you add it into that bottom text there. The OMG, this is crazy. Me just adding in basic text there, I know. But that's really important for you to realize is there's not a lot of that. It's not a page, because it really is not a sales page. It's just a way to say thank you, or it's a way to say headline, tagline, video. And for those who are already ready to go, they'll buy. But for those who are on the fence, having a separate page that's dedicated to this upsell could be the difference from you getting more sales, because they just needed a little bit more of information before they said yes. So what I'm going to show you here is a couple options that I've done for clients that are different upsell pages and how to connect them then into your checkout pages. Before I do that though, one final thing to know in case another limitation happens for you. A lot of time people will create some type of free funnel. So it'd be like a free book plus shipping, a free something plus additional thing. Those are really effective funnels. However, what you don't really realize with Kajabi is that once you have it be a free offer, the upsell goes away because it doesn't actually allow you to create upsells for free offers. So if you were to do something like this, you wouldn't be able to add in those upsells, which creates another limitation in case you want to upsell people in an easier way. Even inside of the pipelines and funnels that Kajabi has, this is still a limitation there. So you can tell why I'm passionate about you having dedicated upsell pages. And they don't have to be crazy. I'll show you examples of both a short one and a long one. So what you'll notice here is this is the short upsell. It's pretty standard in terms of it is short. This, if you scroll up and down, that's it. So what you'll see here, I believe in if you're going to have multiple upsells, create this option of step 1, 2, 3, and let people know how many pages there are left. This is so important because think about it as like if you go on Instagram, they have the carousels, and almost most carousels that are over 5 slides will have 1 of 5, 2 of 5, because people's brains need to know how much time investment this is going to take them. So to have it be, 1 of 2 steps, their brain then realizes, oh, it's only going to take me another step and then I'm good to go. It's really important you add that in. But in terms of the text setup, so you can see here, I have a button here that's add to my order. So if I were to think about this in terms of a funnel, right? This would actually be, this page itself would be the first page they go to before that checkout page. And I know that sounds kind of trippy, so I'm going to actually walk you through how this looks in a real funnel. So this is a standard sales page. I'm not going to show a lot of it because it is my client sales page. It will be into an upcoming Kajabi template. If you do want to go to the template shop, it'll be more in line with the branding for anyone who can use it. And the copy is also going to be changed. But I want to show you exactly what will happen. So you can see here, I have this now button. This is the sales page. This is going to now the landing page. So if you can tell, this one up here has a title name of audiobook upsell original 1. then this one shows you it's going to this landing page. This is really important. Again, if you are going to create multiple upsells, because naturally you'd think, okay, I'm going to make this go to the checkout page. No, we're actually going to have this go to its own dedicated page, and I'll show you what happens. So if you have multiple upsells, it'll go to this landing page. So from the sales page, we're now moving it to this landing page. This is the step 1 upsell. Again, I recommend if you do have it, make it easy for them. This one, as you can tell here, because we're going to have a second upsell again, this is step 1 of 2, then it's going to give them the option to go to the second upsell. Then there's this option, which is literally just hyperlinked text. This is actually text that I just hyperlinked that gives them a hyperlink to the checkout page, because I do recommend always give them the option to say no. I think it's really unethical to just have it be like, yes, you have to add me to the order or else they leave. Having something here allows them the option to opt out. So this is not like something custom coded. This is literally, if you were to see this text, if you were to highlight it and hyperlink it to the checkout page offer. So if we're going to go back here, I would take, not all of this, but I would take this link and I would hyperlink this here, and that's what creates this hyperlink. And I'll show you what it looks like in a second, but I want to walk you through the entire funnel. All right, so we're talking about this part. So as you'll see here, if I were to click this button, it's going to take me to another landing page. I know it sounds like a lot, but you'll see this says now step 2 of 2. We are now on the second upsell page. So all the things we've just moved to it's in your landing pages tab inside of Kajabi. So this is not going to be in your offers or your sales tab. This is truly in your landing pages tab in Kajabi. So as you can tell, I changed some of the text here for privacy, but I wanted to show you what it would look like. So now we're on step 2, which is the last step. What's going to give you the option to do now is have this button. This is the final step. So it makes sense on the back end side to then add this as a checkout page. So this is the final step. So we're going to have the checkout page then be an actual checkout page. So what I want you to realize is, although this is a little bit of like a headache to set up at first because you're like, oh, I have so many pages, and then also these pieces here, the no, I only want the audiobook, or no, I want only this offer, these ones are the ones that are checkout pages. Because like I said, I want them to be able to opt out. So if you were to think about it, all the buttons beyond the last one are landing pages. All of these hyperlinks are for checkout pages. So if I click here, it takes them to a checkout page because I think it's important for them to be able to opt out at any time. And if you look at any major course or funnel that you've seen that are like $1 million people, they usually have something like this as well. But unfortunately, at this time, Kajabi is just not set up fully to where we want it to be for the upsells. So let me give you a final summary so that way your brain is able to fully take this in and be able to take it with you as you finish building out your funnel. Okay, now let's talk about the final summary so you can take this with you to your next course funnels. As we talked about, the upsells that you can do inside of Kajabi aren't bad. But if you're wanting to create a more fleshed out funnel that allows people the option to still opt out, but really get a full scope of what your upsells are about so that they have a more informed choice and probably buy more because of it, this is the option to do. So all you have to do, keep your sales pages the same, but you'll have those buttons you saw. So think of them as like your yes buttons. Your yes buttons that you saw all go to the next landing page, the next upsell landing pages. And the no buttons are those hyperlinks, the no, I don't want this. And those ones go to your checkout pages. So you're gonna have a little bit more of upfront time to actually create the offers and create the pages. But I will tell you from what I've seen on the back end of conversion rates, it really makes a difference for your sales, especially if you're gonna make this one of your main funnels that you bring into cold traffic, to ads, to organic elements too. This is a really amazing add-in to your funnel because it really makes a difference, even though I know it's unfortunate to set up upfront. It's kind of the same way of SEO, where you do a little bit more upfront work to set up the SEO on your website to help people find you. And then each month that you've had it now set up, it works for you on the back end, and you just had to set it up once. That's what this upsell funnel allows you to do, again, without having to change anything about your plan. I think I'm currently on the smallest plan of Kajabi anyway, so this is my way of hopefully helping you save a little bit of money and make a little bit of money at the same time. So if you have any questions, let me know down below. I'd also love to know if you're thinking about creating upsells, what are you planning on doing? And I'll see you in the next video.